Hello, everyone. I have a massive book haul today, and most of these books were purchased from used library stores. And there is one book that I got as an advanced reader's copy, and also one I had to buy new, which was kind of an emergency. But let me go through the books that I got this month, starting with fiction. I got Plain Song. This is a pretty beat up copy, but it was only like 50 cents, and I really wanted this book for some reason. I don't remember why. But I'm looking forward to reading it and figuring out why I wanted this book so bad. I usually just I listen to booktubers and I add their recommendations to my wish list. And I think this was highly recommended by somebody. And this is a book about an ambitious but never seeming so Kent Harroff reveals a whole community as he interweaves the stories of a pregnant high school girl, lonely teacher, a pair of boys abandoned by their mother, and a couple of crusty bachelor farmers. Okay, so sounds like a fun family story. Okay, another book that I'm super excited about is The Wedding People. This one I really, really wanted to read because of all the hype it got last year. It was really well rated. A lot of people on YouTube really liked it. So I got this at a store and was very excited about that. This is the book that I got from the publisher. This is Show Don't Tell by Curtis Sittenfield. And this is the author of Prep and Romantic Comedy, which not sure, I've not read anything by Curtis Sitfield before, and I think Romantic Comedy didn't do very well when it came out a couple years ago. And Prep, I never really felt excited to read. But this looks really interesting. This looks like a collection of stories. I'm looking. It's a collection of short fictions, not a novel. So I am looking forward to this one. This is a book that I rebought. This is Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. I read this book 2 years ago, and I disliked it, honestly. And but I've been itching to reread it to see if my opinion changed on it. So I know this is a beloved book, and I have read other things by R.F. Kuang. I really enjoyed Babel. I kind of enjoyed Yellowface. I would reread Yellowface. That was a fun book. There was some fun elements to it, but Poppy War was brutal and awkward. And I don't know. We'll see. It was $1 and I did want to read when I saw it, I wanted to read it. So that's why I got it. This is the book that I bought new, and this is a Percival Everett book. I think one of the first books he wrote, one of the original first books. And I had never heard of it until it was recommended by a YouTuber that I really respect, and I immediately just bought it as soon as he started talking about it. This is about a genius baby, I guess. Yeah, I love things like that. So super excited about this one. I got a book by Herman Wouk. This is the author of one of my favorite books of all time, The Caine Mutiny. The Caine Mutiny is one of those books that everyone's like, you should read. It's really good. And I'm like, what is this about? War? Servicemen? I don't know if I'm going to like it. And then it was just one of the most incredible books ever. It was so funny and so fascinating, and the characters were absolutely incredible, and the story was just phenomenal. Everything about the Caine Mutiny blew me away. So I would like to continue reading books by Herman Wouk. So I got The Winds of War, which is another one of his best rated books. And someone reviewed, let's see, Hypnotically Readable. Yeah, this is when I start reading a Herman Wouk book, I can't put it down. I also got Blue Sisters by Coco Melors. Excited about this one. It was also constantly came up on best books recommended by YouTubers, so I'm excited to grab that. Okay, I think I'm done with fiction. Now I'm going to go on to nonfiction. Sorry, what am I talking about? Nonfiction. So I got Sigmund Freud's Civilization and Its Discontent. That's a classic that I've wanted to have for a long time. I got The End of the Myth, which was really interesting. This book won the Pulitzer Prize, so of course I had to have it. And this is all about building walls in America. So yeah, I'm on a political reading binge right now. I've been reading many, many books on politics, and so of course this month I've been focused on buying books on politics, and this definitely came up as an interesting one. I also got Humankind, A Hopeful History. This book I think has been on my wish list for a long time. Reviewed by Susan Cain, author of Quiet, and Daniel Pink, author of Drive, both books I really enjoyed. So yeah, lots of all the people who reviewed it, I've read all their books. That's funny. Um, Not all of them, but most of them. Yes, I'm excited for that one. This book I picked up on a whim. It's a nonfiction by Murakami, and this is all about his investigation of a terrorist attack in Japan, which of course I didn't know anything about, and I'm excited to find out about what he wrote about. So I didn't know he wrote any nonfiction other than his running book, his memoir on running, which was okay. Let's see. So this is The Twilight of the Elites, America After Meritocracy. This is another book I wanted as soon as I saw it, by Christopher Hayes. This just goes right into the books that I've been reading recently. Heidegger and a Hippo Walk Through the Pearly Gates. This is another book by Thomas Cathcart, and Daniel Klein, which I've been collecting. I don't know if I'm going to like it. They're not the best rated books, but he has a whole series of cute little philosophy joke guides. So I don't know. Picked it up. Added to the stack. The Hedgehog and the Fox, I believe I've been wanting to read for a long time. This is an analysis of Tolstoy, which I'm like super excited to read this one. And that's by Isaiah Berlin. Another book that goes into my stack of political science to read is The Shock Doctrine, The Rise of Disaster Capitalism. This book is pretty beat up, which is a shame, but I have been really, really wanting this book. So this one came up on, I think, one of the best books of the 21st century. So it's been on my list for a while. I got Range by David Epstein, and this is all about generalization and improving yourself. So this seemed like a very interesting book for me to read right now when I'm working very hard on my theater and dance career, and trying to improve myself. And definitely hit a nerve with me when I saw it, so I wanted to read it. This is a cute little book, Quantum Physics for Beginners. I used to read a lot of books on quantum physics, a lot, and then I accumulated even more, and then I just kind of stopped reading those books. So I thought this would be a fun little guide for me to just go through and remind myself of all the stuff I was really into, and hopefully get me back into reading books on quantum physics. I got Grifftopia by Matt Taibbi. This was very well rated, more than his other books. This is all about bankers, politicians, and power-hungry grabs in American history. This is about the financial crisis in 2008. So yeah, I'm super interested in that. And I got The Third Plate, Field Notes on the Future of Food, by Dan Barber. Another book that's really well rated, and it's kind of an expose on cooking and the food industry. It sounded really interesting to me. Okay, so I got 2 graphic novels. The first one is A Study in Emerald. I believe I read this short story a couple years ago, and I think I really liked it. And then I found this beautifully illustrated graphic novel. So I'm looking forward to, revisiting. The pictures are just beautiful. So I found that at a thrift store. That was cool. I think it was like $2. So. And then also I got, this was on my list, The Cartoon History of the Universe, Volume 3. I have Volume 1, and so I still need to buy Volume 2. So now I have Volume 3, which I only got for $2, which is great. And it's just a really, really fascinating way to learn history. And I'm hoping my son will use these. He's really into graphic novels, and it's really the only thing he reads. So hopefully he'll find these and start reading them. And I actually started putting all the graphic novels I have in a bookshelf outside his room, hoping he'll read them. Okay, I got This Is a Story of a Happy Marriage by Ann Patchett. This is one of the few books by Ann Patchett that I didn't have, and it was on sale, and it's a memoir. So I picked that up. I actually got a lot of memoirs. These are all memoirs and biographies. I got Michael J. Fox's No Time Like the Future, An Optimist Considers Morality. I like Michael J. Fox, so I want to read that book. I got An Astronaut's Guide to Life on Earth by Colonel Chris Hadfield. I did read this book many years ago. I want to say in 2006 2017 or 18, probably 2018. And I was mixed on it, but I have been wanting to reread it. I have been thinking about it and hoping I'll run into it. So I did, and that was exciting. I got Frederick Douglass. This book is massive and very heavy. This was on my list. I think somebody recommended it. So I put it on my list and I found it. So that was good. This is a book about Dostoevsky. It's his biography, and it was really well reviewed. So I wanted to grab that. And this is a biography of Alexander Solzhenitsyn, who is the author of the Gulag, Arpeggio, and also what was that book that he wrote? The really famous one, One Day in the Life of. I'm gonna look at my Russian books really quick. One Day in the Life of Ivan Desenkovich. So, and not only is this his biography, it's also a very interesting portrait of Russia during his time. So I really had to have that one. I got Viola Davis's Finding Me, which I know was really popular last year. And then Martin Short, I Must Say, which was recommended by a friend, I think. Someone said you should definitely read this one. So I always liked Martin Short. And this is I Stay True. This is another Pulitzer Prize winner. I did read about half of this book a couple years ago, but I was listening to it on audiobook, and I just failed to connect. But I had several people tell me this book was really, really worth reading, and really try it again. So now that I have the physical copy, I can read it instead of listening. I got Hunger by Roxane Gay, and I don't know anything about this book, but I was just picking up all these memoirs off the shelf, and I grabbed this one as well. It sounded interesting. And then finally, Brain on Fire by Suzanne Callahan. Another memoir. What is this about? Looks like she maybe had a breakdown. I really don't know much. I don't know much about this book. I think this would be a good book for me to read. Anyway, so that is about 32 books, I think. And it may be a little more than I hope to buy, but I actually went to quite a few stores to get all these, something I've been working on all month. And yeah, it's funny, the more books I read, the more books I get rid of, the less books I want to buy. So like I used to walk into stores and buy like 50 books. It was crazy. And then now I can walk into a bookstore and buy no books because I don't want any of those books. And then once in a while I'll hit upon the treasure trove of all these books that I desperately want. So I never know. There were so many stores this month that I just bought nothing from because there were no books I needed or wanted. But I do go book shopping quite a bit, sometimes almost every day, unfortunately. But it's a fun hobby. I really like to see what I can find. And I really don't want to buy books new, just because I like to write in them. And also, if I don't like them, I want to get rid of them. Anyway, so thank you for watching.